Have y'all ever felt like maybe your event designs or your draping designs are getting just a little bit too extra? Like maybe you're adding entirely too many bells and whistles. I know you want the razzle dazzle, but when is it enough? Or how about just losing sight in the beauty of simplicity? Guys, sometimes less is more. But don't y'all worry, because y'all not alone. Because even myself, I seen me doing it and I was like, hold on. Just adding a little too much and really distracting and detracting from what's so beautiful about the design in the first place. So I want us together, guys, to really rediscover the elegance of less is more. So don't you go nowhere. Up, industry pros, and welcome back to Raising the Bar, which is the only draping podcast on the internet. And it's your girl, Precious Stevens. Everybody calls the Draping Queen. And guys, today we're going to take it back from the hustle, the bustle, the rigmarole, all the things, and we're going to really explore the beauty of simplicity. Yes, I get it. In a world that's constantly screaming for our attention, it is really easy, guys, to get caught up in the more is more and give mentality. But baby, sometimes the most stunning events are the ones that really embrace the elegance of minimalism. I mean, you see it all up and down your timeline. It's honestly one of the things that kind of made me realize, like, what is actually happening within the industry, right? So I want us to really ditch the clutter. I want us to clear our minds. I want us to just really rediscover the art of simplicity, because this is one episode, guys, you don't want to miss. All right, so let's just kick things off with part one, the whole allure of more is more. But how about that is not always the best option? So let's get into it. All right, guys. So being totally honest, like we all love a good showstopper, a good jaw-dropping, va-va-voom kind of dramatic look, especially with the draping. Those over-the-top designs with the cascading floral arrangements and the dazzling chandeliers, guys, they definitely have their place. No holds barred, right? But sometimes, guys, in our quest to really create that wow factor, the thing that we're looking for or that we really want our clients to experience with their guests, we end up with designs that are just overwhelming. They're cluttered. And guess what? They're lacking in focus. Because in our industry, guys, what we do, a lot of what we do is the focal point. If it's perimeter draping, then it really has a job, which is to cover some stuff up or to make us room smaller or whatever it is, right? But when we're talking about the premium draping and the luxury draping, guys, a lot of times that is one of the key focal points. But think about it. When you walk into a room, right, and if it's crammed with a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of decorations, and a whole bunch of colors and textures and just all over the place, how do you feel? I know sometimes, being totally honest with you guys, then so I have a community inside my private Facebook group where it's about almost 19,000 people there, and people randomly will share their work, right? As they should, because it is our safe haven. I have a lot of people in there that aren't quite confident yet to place their work on their regular profile. So they like coming and getting feedback. And I love it because that is what that community is for. But I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm seeing, and it was just happening a lot, especially last year. I'm just seeing people sharing their work and I'm like, wow, that is really freaking busy. So you try to think of creative ways to say it without being offensive or anything like that, because that is not my responsibility. My responsibility is not to offend anyone or anything like that. My responsibility is to empower, embrace, uplift, motivate, educate, all the things so I could get you moving in a positive manner, right? Someone come and let's just say they share something and it's whoa. Sometimes that'd be my reaction. I'd be like, whoa. But if that's the case, I'm not going to make that reaction known, because then guess what's going to happen? If that was my reaction, quite naturally, that could be the one thing that make you crawl back under the rock you just came from. So that is not my responsibility. My responsibility is, however, though, to share tips and share just different feedback along with the entire community. That's one thing I love about our tribe, is that we all collectively help each other and give each other feedback. And I think over the last year, I have seen a real major uptick in just the community itself, just empowering each other and giving each other feedback, which is definitely, it was amazing to see, because normally people come in and everyone is looking for feedback from me because I am the instructor. However, I created this platform, I created this community and this group of people as a community, as a tribe, right? So I think over the past year or so, my role more was stepping back and empowering them to step up. So I just like how they doing their thing over there. So if you need a community, guys, if you need a community of like-minded draping designers that range from never heard of it to I'm killing this thing, click the link below in the description and definitely join our free community, because it's amazing. That's a great place for anyone to start that's looking to get in, because it's just a lot of information we share and we uplift on each other. And that was another thing that made me, I was turned off of the draping industry over the past 2 years, not going to lie, because it just was a lot happening and I was not inspired. I really wasn't inspired. It was at a place where I wanted to do some other things. And even though I had a great amount of success in the draping industry, one of the smartest things I did was move my money into make it, put it into pockets that work for me. So I'm not in this draping game trying to hit it and quit it. So since I had that freedom to just now think of what I wanted to do, some other things just came down the pipeline. So I was so inspired with the draping industry. I was about to leave. I was about to check out. I'm not going to lie. But then just this whole thing happened last year with me launching my draping instructor program, because I just felt as if the space needed more instructors, and I felt like it needed more reputable instructors, because you would have a lot of people try to get in and try to teach and they'll throw a class up, and I just would laugh because I'm like, that ain't going to last long, because you can see how they operate. And I know with this, since it was an untapped market, it was harder for me to have that kind of success with this thing, but I stayed the course and nailed it. But I felt as if the industry needed more reputable instructors that actually had a framework to follow, that actually would be led by someone been doing it for years and had success every time. So just being able to launch that and just learning a lot of things with that program within itself, that you got to be prepared for this thing. What I do did not come easy at all. I probably make it look easy, but it did not come easy. But would I change it? Absolutely not, because it's one of the most profitable things I've ever done. And I did a lot, y'all. I did a lot. I think I've worked almost every arena I ever dreamt of other than real estate. That's my next one. I had a lot of emotional things happening last year, but it was great things. It was things that allowed me to fall back in love with this thing. And I just was wrestling with the idea of, dang, I made my mind up that I wanted to go this route, blah, blah, blah. And you guys heard about it on my previous podcast. I just made the commitment this year in January, like I'm going to just recommit myself to my community and I'm going to give it everything I got, because I was seeing so many great things happening last year. And I think it was everything that I was hoping and wanting to happen. Just give us our respect. Show us some love. And it was just beginning to happen. And that kind of just, I don't know, made me start like, okay, you know what, maybe all those seeds that you've sown, maybe this is harvest season right now, and it's finally beginning to pay off. But I was seeing in the actual designs itself, I was like, this is a mockery of the freaking industry. Like, this does not uphold what we stand on. And I'm not gonna lie, part of it I felt responsible, because I just would have these wild hairs and I was like, oh, add this to it, and I would play with these dramatic fabric blends, right? But me, as a creative, but also as an educator and understanding, I've mastered my craft, right? So it's like I could do it and get away with it, but the average person cannot because they don't understand the art of draping. They don't understand that it's more to just adding drapes to a pole. Like it's an actual, it's just like elements and things that you got to understand for this thing to really pull off and not create that shock value. Whoa, what the hell do we got here? So just understanding that and then understanding the role I played in it by influencing people and them not properly being trained. And you know how everybody want to DIY child. I said, oh, I could do this. And then they do it. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I felt a responsibility to just come back in and reset the algorithm, if you would say. And that's what this year, the classes are all about, like the draping tours. It's all about back to basics. You guys will see it all on my flyers, all in our verbiage, because that's what it's about. It's like really taking back the power of what draping really is. And you don't have to do all the things to make it look extravagant because it's going to do what it's going to do, right? So just being in that whole thing, feeling like it really needed to be reset. That's mainly one of the reasons why I'm deciding to do this podcast, because I think it's necessary. And I want to remind people that draping has been around, right? Before we even put all these other crazy embellishments and all of this stuff on it, it has been that girl. And it has been making waves. So it's not necessary to oversaturate it with things that's just, it makes it more overwhelming. And no, let's just take it back. Back to the basics, baby. Because sometimes less is truly more. A minimalist approach is, and I'm not going to lie. Also, I think I'm just in that season in my life of minimalism. I've been adapting this whole minimalism thing for probably a couple of years now. And like the more I dive into it, I love it. And I'm just applying it to all aspects of my life. And it just so happened draping is just one of those things that also fits. It just fits minimalism. Let's just go back to the sense of calm and elegance and sophistication without all the things. I'm just in that season in my life. I sometimes look at some of my old footage and even my makeup, baby. Who did I think I was? I don't know. I haven't worn makeup in I don't know how long. And today I only dressed up for the podcast. Like I did put on some lashes and a little bit of lip gloss, but I'm just loving this whole feel of the bare minimum, because that's really all you really need. So even in the draping, like things, I think what it's important for us to see and recognize is that even though we are draping designers or whatever it is, like you're in your creativity. So that's naturally going to lap over into other aspects of your life. That's why I always say draping is just a vehicle for me to do my life's work. I'm doing everything I was created and designed to do. I can tell because it feels freaking amazing. It doesn't feel like I'm supposed to be doing anything else. And to be able to have the impact that I have on people, to be able to help the people that I have, make the connections that I'm able to make, be able to just have the opportunities that I've been able to have, that all came through draping. It's just funny how life happens. And when I'm talking about this podcast with simplicity, even though I'm talking about draping, for some of you, guess what? It may hit home into other areas too. It may hit home into whatever area that you have that is you're just doing too much. Woo, you're doing too much. Let's scale it back. So again, minimalism approach, that's the whole theme for 2025. And I'm here for it. I want you guys to tell me down in the comments, have you adopted any minimalism, or do you feel as if you're just doing too much, or how is that happening? I know when I first came to this recognition, I don't know. I think I just would get irritated. I've always been a visually, aesthetically pleasing person. If things are out of order, I am, woo, and I'm a Gemini, baby. So that says a lot. I am just like taken back. My energy just is depleted. It could be some shoes that's just in the corner. I don't know. It's just going to do something to me. It's going to do something to me. But I've been on this quest of decluttering and adapting to a minimalistic lifestyle. So trust me, I get it. It is not easy, because you desire all the things, right? The natural humanistic thing in you is going to desire all the things. But in taking a step back, I want you guys to think, is it really necessary? When I came to those realizations, a lot of things began to happen in my life, like even down to holidays. Like Doc asks me all the time. My fiance asks me all the time. He used to get frustrated because I'd be like, it's really nothing I want. He'd be like, what you want, babe? What you want, babe? What you want, babe? He's a giver. He like giving gifts. I love the flowers he give me. Like the flowers is my staple. But like the gift thing, in the beginning, he would get gifts. And I guess he could tell he didn't hit the mark. It's just, I ain't there no more. Who really need 250 pairs of shoes? Guys, run the tape back. You guys see me in this shirt. Not the same exact one. But y'all see me in this shirt like all the time. And the black sweatpants or black leggings or black slacks. I wear the same thing every day almost. Funny because I did a live broadcast yesterday. And I had on, it was laundry day. All of my uniforms was dirty. So I had on like regular clothes. And it's funny because even one of my tribe members was like, girl, I am not used to seeing you in regular clothes. And I don't know. I love the fact that, guys, I've worked my entire life, right? So I could easily get up and put on someone else's uniform. Like no issues. That's the requirement of the job. If I'm branding myself now, this is the requirement of me branding myself. When you see Precious, yeah, she gonna have on Posh something, the Posh Academy, Draping for Dollars. She gonna have on something where she is repping her brand. So if I did it all this time for someone else, it's time to do it for me. And it's also just comfortable. Let's eliminate, going back to minimalism, right? Let's eliminate me having to get up and think about what I'm gonna put on a day. I ain't got time for that. It's 7 a.m. where I'm recording this podcast right now. I threw my uniform on. Let's go. And I really find that in the whole minimalism thing, I find more peace. And guys, I will have carts and things that I'm just accumulating because it looks cute. So that human trait in me that, oh, that's pretty, I gotta have it. It'll still be activated. But the disciplined Precious is who comes in and say, you don't need that. Realistically, where you going? You don't go nowhere. Where you gonna wear that? You don't go anywhere, right? So I'm really loving minimalism in such a way that it just really defines who I'm becoming, and I'm loving who I'm becoming. And that's in business, that's in lifestyle, that's just where it is. I could be on this quest and feeling this way. Then that's one of the things I want to help you guys realize. You don't have to do too much when it comes down to your designs. You don't have to do too much when it comes down to you repping your brand, repping your business. You don't have to do too much. Guys, I was considering ending this podcast, the video one, right? Because, not gonna lie, I'm being super honest with y'all right now. Because the audio version is a lot easier to record because I can record it on the go. I can record it in my car. I can record it and I can stay consistent. But I had a conversation with my tribe, and guess what? They said that they prefer the video. And I thought the audio was where it was at because a lot of people I found out was listening to me like on their way to work, and that little small dose of inspiration and motivation specifically for something that they're passionate about, because there is no other draping podcast on the planet. Some may come, but there hasn't been one when I started mine. So that was one thing they say, oh, you got to stick this thing out. But then when my people said, we like the video because it'd be the facial expressions and the laughing and all of that. And I was like, that ain't what I thought y'all was going to say. So it's like, I got to keep it going. Just being able to really do this thing and understand that now this is like where my community love getting my content. I'm here for the long run. And I love that I didn't got to do too much. I could come up with this. I'm going to be on here with the same shirt all the time. Not the same shirt, but y'all get what I'm saying. So my lifestyle simplicity makes it easier for me to just do what it is that I need to do, and which is serve my people. It ain't about me. I ain't got to sit here and get cute and do all the things. Like, I do got to put on some lip gloss though, because nobody want to be seeing no ashy lips. But yeah, I want you guys to just really realize what's happening. And I want to ask you guys a question. Do you feel that you're doing too much? If you haven't answered it earlier, this is your chance, because I like reading my comments. Not only do I like reading them, also other people like reading them. You guys don't understand that people find refuge in a lot of the things that you guys say. They're beginning to discover it's not just them. They're not by themselves. Even though I share my progress, I share where I've been, sometimes it's best for you guys to share because some of you guys that is where you are now. So you may find your bestie right there in the comments. You never know, right? You never know. That's why I ask you guys questions often and tell y'all put it down in the comments because I'm all about community over here. And that's what we do. So this is how you can find people that you have things in common with and begin to grow and share experiences while you guys are on this journey for greatness. Okay. And that brings us to part 2, guys. In part 2, we're going to talk about the power of simplicity. And by golly, I am so glad that it has. I'm trying to tell you, I think if this whole simplicity, minimalism, even if I wasn't at that place in my life, I probably would have left the industry. Me being on this quest for minimalism and peace with the hit of the industry now just became like a parallel. We just gelled. I gravitated to something I seen that I love because it was simplicity. And it gravitated to me and pulled me back in because it was like, now we need you to deliver this thing. We need you to go tell the people that y'all doing too daggone much. Before you think I'm telling you to ditch all your sparkly fabric and your dramatic drapes and your velvet and all that, guys, let me explain. Just because I'm saying simplicity, just because I'm saying minimalism, this is not about being boring or being plain. It's really about being intentional. It's about being thoughtful. It's about creating a cohesive design that just really highlights the individual elements of what it is that you're doing, which is your design, right? Even when I talk about life stuff, right? It's my life's design. And the things that need to be highlighted don't need all these extra elements to make it say, because it naturally does that on its own. So with draping, guys, I want y'all to really think of clean lines, right? Neutral color palettes and focus on texture and negative space. I know with draping, I don't know why, but people tend to think you got to cover everything up. Like you got to put drapes everywhere. And I'm like, baby, let's take some of that down. I know we talk about fullness, but you got to know how to implement it, where to implement it, and when to implement it, right? These elements can really create a sense of calm and sophistication that really allows your guests to truly appreciate, guess what? The beauty of your design. Not to mention, a minimalistic approach, guys, can be more sustainable. It could be more budget friendly, flat, point blank period. It could be cheaper, which is always a win. I am so over the moon in love with our upcoming Baroque draping, which is our hands-on masterclass. We got a couple of them for the spring, and I know we're going to be doing these throughout the year because I'm in love with it, and the industry is in love with it, and a lot of people is not quite mastered it yet. At first, I was thinking of like when I was first thinking of putting these classes together, because I'm a Gemini. And I love color. I love vibrancy. But when it comes to this, baby, all that ain't necessary. All the colors and all the decor items and the pizzazz, baby, keep that to a minimum. And you ain't got to do all that. When you go and look at the greats that are doing it, bare minimum. But guess what? Guess how you feel, though. You want to clutch your pearls because you're like, oh, my God. Heavens to Megatroid. So guys, I'm trying to tell you, if you feel as if you want to get in and you want to really master this thing, guys, not only are we doing Baroque draping, we're doing style shoots, we're doing traditional premium draping. Definitely check out the spring tour. We have already started working on our summer, and I'm not going on tour in the summer. Definitely check out the spring tour because now that we've opened this new facility, I just have different classes right here in Atlanta at the facility. So I definitely want you guys to check out the links down in the description because it's so many different kind of classes. You just got to get in where you fit in. And the main thing I want to mention to you guys is sometimes less is more. Sometimes simplicity is better. And sometimes it's cheaper. Guys, my classes this year are much more affordable because I'm not going on tour. Baby, Do you know what a tour bill runs? I'm trying to tell you. So being so now I've eliminated that expense, the benefit is now you guys get the benefit from that. All you got to do is take a short, quick, cheap flight here to Atlanta, or get in your car, make them a couple hours. People be traveling all over, child. I'm trying to tell you, get in there so that you can master and take your skills to the next level this year, because this is amazing. I've been talking about it all year. This is an amazing time to get into the premium draping industry, because we are now finally getting some flowers, right? We're finally getting our names heard. We're finally beginning to be seen. And the things that people are requesting, like the people that are celebrating and they draping at these events, guys, it is not that difficult. All you got to do is just learn the basics. The entire theme for 2025 is back to the basics. I named the entire tour, classes, all of it, Charm School, Draping Edition, because we were doing too much. And sometimes we got to go back to the basics and learn proper etiquette, learn proper just elements and just theories and things like that. So I'm going to have a ball this year in 2025, and I want you to be there. So check out the description so you can see what cities we are visiting here in the spring. And that brings us to number 3, guys, which is finding the balance, y'all. Oh my God. How do you find the balance but still create designs that wow your clients, right? How do you find that sweet spot between over the top and underwhelming? Like, that is the best place to be, right? When it's not doing too much and it's not so lackluster, but it's just like perfect. How do you create those kind of designs, right? That's both impactful and elegant at the same time. I'm going to share with you guys a couple of tips, and these are actually things that we are incorporating in all of our classes in 2025. So I'm not just telling and suggesting you guys to do them. Guys, I'm following the rules as well. All right, first thing is choose a focal point, right? What is the one element that you want to draw attention to? You got to decide what's the one thing that you want to stand out, demand all the attention, right? Because a lot of you guys do not just do draping. Y'all do all the things. And I get it. I'm here for it. So maybe you want your floral installations to really stand out and you want everything else to be complementary to that. Totally get it. Or maybe you do want the dramatic draping or backdrop or something like that will be the focal point. And then sometimes when you maybe can't do dramatic draping and you're doing maybe perimeter, but you're doing unique lightings, right? Maybe the focus is the lighting. Main thing is decide on your focal point. And once you have your focal point, then you want to build your design around it, right? Keeping everything else simple and totally complementary. Guys, my first Baroque class, I can't wait. I'm anxious and I'm going through all seasons of emotions because this is the first one. I'm always wanting to provide the best possible experience for my students. And I was thinking of all the things, guys. I didn't put together this like digital mock-up, like how I wanted the space. And then once I looked at it, it looked amazing. I ain't gonna lie. But once I looked at it, I said, it's just too much. It takes away from what they really came to learn. And then I don't want to, a lot of my students, they do that other stuff already. So they don't need instruction on that. The instruction need to be what they don't know. And what they don't know is the draping. So that is the one thing that we need to highlight, and everything else just need to be complementary to it. I don't need to overpower it with tablescapes and all of this and all of that, because that is not why they're coming. So I'm glad I came to that realization, because the bill was getting a little high with all the things I'd had to purchase, because I am not a designer. I'm a draping instructor. So I have all things draping related, right? But still wanting to create that impactful space, still wanting to create that impactful scenery, because we're turning it into a style shoot so that now they have the high quality photos of this new trending style of draping that they can go and splatter all over their stuff so they can instantly get bookings. And I know they will, because realistically, this class came because of them. Why? Because they kept saying, Coach, I keep getting these requests, and it was for this style draping. They were like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to price it. How much to charge? How to do it? You got to have a class. And I'm like, slow down there, Ranger. But it was just happening almost every day with different previous students. Or it would be people that never even been in my class, child. And they asked me, somebody sent me this. I don't know how much to charge. How much you want to charge? We could easily nip this in the bud by you just enrolling in class. But decide on the focal point, guys, and definitely build around that. You don't want to overpower what your focal point is, because then it's going to be just a big confused mess. And I don't want that. So that's one tip. Next thing, guys, is embrace negative space. I don't want you guys to be afraid to leave some empty space in your design, right? I get it if the empty space is ugly, or maybe it got fire hydrants or something like that, then yeah, do what you want to do. But if it's just negative space, guys, this allows the eyes to really rest and appreciate the beauty of what it is that you've designed, right? The individual elements that you wanted to draw people's eyes into anyway, allow them to do that by not overpowering it, by just cramming everything around it. You putting stands here and you putting balloons there. Baby, that's a lot. They don't know where their eyes should go. So I want you to definitely, guys, embrace that negative space. Less is more. Draw the eyes in exactly where you want them to go. And then tip 3, guys, is focusing on texture. Now, this is one thing that has not changed with how my style of draping. I am always going to focus on texture and also depth, because texture, that's exactly what it does, right? It can create and add depth and interest to something that's minimal, right? And it don't have to overwhelm the senses. It could just fit right into the design and create that variety that you're wanting to flow, right? I want you guys to think of natural things. Like wood is like a big staple when it comes to this style of draping. Also, the different kind of linens, right? Play with different kind of linens. I'm trying to tell you, textured linen alone, it gives off a certain, something that just make people fall in love with it, right? Get away from the boring blends that everybody is using because they don't know how to drape. I get it. You done cheated yourself to the top. But baby, I want you guys to really start just practicing, right? I'm not saying take a class. I'm just telling you, at least practice with different types and styles of linen to create that variety to just make it stand out. And even metal. Now, metal is one of those things that is always going to be able to create some kind of not too much drama, but just drama, right? It's going to be that element that's really take it to the next level. And depending on how much metal you use is determine how dramatic it is. So you don't have to use a lot though. The main thing is just using some. Metal and fabrics it just goes together really well. And when you're doing these different designs, I still say this, even since my first class, incorporate textured fabrics and different draping techniques. Everything does not have to be a deep swag. Everything does not have to be a swoop, is what you guys call them. It doesn't have to be a swoop. You want to learn different techniques so that you're really able to stand out. This is what catches the eye, and this is what makes people like, wow, I can't do that. Now I got to get her to do it. I'm trying to tell you. Guys, you're going to see us really incorporating these different elements in our classes this year. We're definitely incorporating a lot of wood for our different Baroque classes, not just the classes, but also our virtual trainings, because I do virtual trainings as well. And these are the different elements that, one, I love them because you can use them over and over. And you could just change the design itself, but these elements, you could just keep constantly use them. And we also using a lot of metal, right? Not a lot, but to just heighten things and take it to the next level and really complement the draping. That is another thing we're doing this year. We're not just draping. We're going to complement our draping setups with these elements that I'm speaking about now. And lastly, guys, you want to tweak. I can't say it enough. You want to just keep on tweaking. Once you created the actual design, I want you then take a step back and ask yourself, does this element truly add to the overall design, or is it just clutter? And I'm trying to tell you, if you can't be like, oh yeah, that's it right there, take it out. Just take it out. But the main thing is being ruthless in your tweaking process and only keeping the elements that's essential to your vision, right? Only keeping those things that really is helping it pull off, that's really taking it to that next level. Key tip, one of the fastest ways that I'm able to execute time, like when I'm designing, I don't care how difficult or how intricate the design is. One way I'm able to really carve a lot of time and save time is by just getting it up there, doing all the tweaking in between. I get it up there. I make sure I secure everything. And then I do all my tweaking at the end. Because if I'm securing it properly, at least I know it's where it's supposed to be. I just may got to do a little nip and a tuck and a pull and a tug and something like that. But it's secure. And that's the only thing I'm thinking about when I'm actually designing. So remember, guys, simplicity is all about creating a sense of harmony and balance. It's about creating a space that feels both inviting and inspiring. That a person just wants to be in it. They just want to, ooh, yes, I am meant to be here. And guys, this is like the stuff that really makes me excited about what I do. This is the stuff that makes me love what I freaking do. We just opened up, or we just leased rather, a new warehouse space that has a content studio and a conference center. And this was really all about me serving my mentees of my different programs at a deeper level, primarily raising the bar mentorship, because I really want those guys to excel in this draping game as designers, because I know that it's possible. And the things that's happening in the industry now is going to make it so much easier for them guys to do that. I relaunched this program in January because that is when I did my whole recommitment to everything. And we've been rocking and rolling every week since then. And it's been truly amazing. The things that the aha moments that they're experiencing, the way that they are into the trainings and showing up to the calls, that is when you know you have something that they need and that they're actually into. People will be at work and they're on the call. That is really exciting. And that's the stuff that makes you want to just go overboard and over deliver, because I am vested in their success, right? Now, next month, every week, because we just got this new facility, every week, guys, I'm going to be hosting a weekly virtual draping training. And it's a variety. It's on a variety of things. Everything from full step-by-step backdrop setups, how to master the valance. And that was mainly because I think it's 2 students that's in Raising the Bar Mentorship that struggle with that. And it's not to say I don't have resources on it before, because I have several videos on YouTube. But baby, that was years ago. My style of draping now is so different from what I was teaching then. The beauty in that is they're not the only ones that struggle with it, I'm quite sure. So those kind of trainings are able to be developed because it's things that they need. Even the florals ain't going anywhere. And now with the influx of silk florals, because baby, she ain't touching nothing alive. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I'm trying to tell you, my last batch of flowers was Valentine's Day, and it was so pretty. I had 3 dozen of long stem roses, guys. Baby, them things was dead, and I don't know how before I could blink. And that is partly my fault, because it was a lot happening with just preparing for classes, and so I really didn't attend to them like I normally would try. But I was so sad because they were so pretty. So I already know, like, if it ain't a plant, I ain't gonna be able to touch it. But the silk flowers, guys, now I might could do something with them. I'm trying to tell you. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun this year planting silk florals, doing a lot of DIY projects, because the style of draping that we're doing, I told you guys, we're complementing the draping, right? And this is one of the easiest ways to complement it without being overpowering. I'm not a floral designer, so I'm not going to have these big old installations that's just like gargantuan and jaw-dropping. That's not my forte. But can we complement what it is that we want the focal point to be with some florals? Absolutely. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm super excited about those weekly trainings. Like I said, I love the mentorship. The one thing I love about the mentorship is it's really close-knit, it's really intimate, and they get first-hand access to everything. Like, I have one of my young ladies coming in for a private style shoot in our new facility, right? And a regular person would have to pay, but being in mentorship, that's the beauty of that. I have another young lady in one of my CDI programs is coming in for a VIP intensive. That's something the person would have to pay for, but she get access to it because she's in that program. So one thing I love about this space is going to definitely open up a lot of opportunities for people in those programs, and they get access to everything I'm working on and that I'm even training on, right? Because with this influx and recommitment to the industry, I'm not coming in doing the same thing that I've been doing. I'm coming in and I'm doing new things, right? I'm doing new trainings. With them having firsthand access to it, that means that they are also shaping the trainings and the YouTube videos for what's going to happen in the years to come, because it doesn't get really pushed out to YouTube or pushed out to the Draping University until months and sometimes even years later. Guys, I love it. I really do love it. I love being able to get their feedback, where they are on their journey. I just simply go in the lab and I create the solution that they need. And I love it. It's like how I see it anyway. It's like they superheroes for you guys. So y'all need to get them their props. So I need you to say yay, Raising the Bar mentees down in the comments, please, because they are actually crafting the materials. They crafting the trainings that's eventually will be released to the lower tier programs, such as the YouTube membership, such as Posh Draping University, and even our free Facebook group. We periodically throw things in there as well, but it came from these guys. So guys, if this sounds like someplace that you need to be so that you are ahead of the class, I want you to check out the details below so you can get access to working closely with me to help you level up. All right, guys, now it is your turn to spill the tea. Y'all know I like asking questions because we be having a conversation. And what's the fun of having a podcast if there's no conversation around it? Okay, so how do you find balance between impactful and elegant designs? Like, how do you find that balance? What is your thing that you do? I want to hear all about it, because guess what? I tell you all the time, you are not just spilling the tea, you're also helping someone that's reading these comments. I'm gonna tell you guys one thing that I do how I find the balance. Sometimes I can put up a design and it's like something be off, right? Or maybe sometimes it's too much fabric. Maybe the space that I created the design, or a mock-up rather, doesn't really allow for how I knew this design should be, or how tall it should be, or how wide. So it's like I'm condensing something that should be grandiose into something that's compact, and it just doesn't give that same zhuzh. So I normally, if I have it up, I'll just normally take panels and I throw it to the back, meaning I'll have open spaces in my design, because I wanted to eliminate that panel because it just was too much. So that's one of the ways that I find that balance. Into if it's too much or if it's not enough, I'll just start hiding things, because I ain't taking it down. Baby, once that thing go up, I ain't taking it down. All right, guys, that is a wrap on today's episode. I want you guys to really remember that sometimes less is truly more. Embrace the beauty of simplicity and create the events that are both stunning and serene, guys. Because let's just face it, we've all had those moments where we feel like we failed. I know I have. But guess what, y'all? Failure is just another opportunity to learn and grow. And next week, woo, child, I'm getting real vulnerable with y'all, and I'm going to be sharing some of my biggest business mistakes and the valuable lessons that I learned along the way. So if you haven't yet done so, guys, hit the like button if you got any value out of this video, and don't forget to turn your notifications on, because I pump these podcasts out every week. And now that I know you guys really enjoy the video podcast, I'm going to make sure I'm consistent and they are on time. So hit the notifications bell so you know the next time one uploads, not to mention all of the other content that I'm going to be dropping. We got some older tutorials that we are pulling out of the vault, and we're going to be putting them here right here on YouTube. But if you want direct access, guys, this is the kicker. If you want direct access to those items that's in the vault, things that I haven't had on display for years that people are just raving about still, I need you guys to join Posh Draping University. Guys, we already have so many courses in that portal, and also it's just a lot happening there. All the events are there. Everything that we have coming up, you'll get direct firsthand access. You know what's happening. Over here on YouTube, it's good, it's cool, but you got to wait till another video come out, right? You don't really know what's happening until the video come out. And if I fall behind, guess what? By the time you didn't see the video, the event didn't pass. And baby, I don't want that to happen for you. So go ahead, click that button below. Join the university, guys. It's only a $7 community as of to date, because every time when we created this community, it was free because it wasn't a lot there. And it's steadily building up with different trainings, right? So the more it builds up and the more valuable it becomes, y'all know we're going to increase the price, okay? So as of today, it is March 2025. It's only $7 to join. Now, if you down the line somewhere and you go and click the link and you see that thing, $97 to join, Baby, you waited too late. It's still valuable though. So go ahead, click that link, and I hope to see you guys on the inside. So don't forget to come back next week. And until then, guys, stay fabulous, keep slaying, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. This is Precious Stevens signing off. Peace.